Hello, everybody, again, and welcome back to what is now episode 3 of the Framed podcast. Not just do you have myself, Ben, here again, you've got Charlie as always, and I would like to introduce you to another member of the Framed team, which is Craig. There he is. We've got quite a lot to go through this week, so Charlie, I'll let you cover it. What are we doing?
Okay, so this week we're going to jump straight back in with some trivia questions for Craig this week. We're going to find out who he is and what he's interested in. Then we're going to go into this week's news. We've got a couple of big things, I'd say, that we've got to go through this week. And then we're going to jump into the latest releases, review them, talk about them, and see what we think. And of course, this week's big releases was F1 and the latest addition to the MCU with IronHeart. I think we'll jump straight into those questions for Craig, if you've got them ready, Ben.
I think so, yeah. So we've put together some little things for you so that everyone kind of learns a little bit who you are. They are weird, and that's the goal. So the first one is interesting. So this comes from a personal thing for me when I was a kid. When you watch a film and it opens with that Warner Bros. Logo, what is the first film that comes to mind?
The Warner Bros. Logo. Wow.
Because Warner Bros. Have all them different like styles and things. Like the Harry Potter one's all dark and gloomy. You got like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a different one. Even Elvis had like its own designed one.
Yeah,
I always go back to Cats and Dogs. I don't know why.
Good one. I mean, now you say it, I mean, Harry Potter is definitely one. But it comes up with all that magical style too, which I think I love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Elvis one was a good shout actually, because I remember that being a really good one. But I think the thing with Warner Brothers and Universal, I really like the way that they do edit it to movies. But I think, going back to childhood, ones that I think, of course, it has to be Harry Potter. I think the way that is just edited to the style of film, I think is great. So don't take me back to my childhood. So
that's fair. That's fair. Did you see that James Gunn has said that he's not going to put one at the beginning of Superman?
Did he not?
He's doing a Marvel thing of like getting rid of all the other brands, and the only thing that will come up is the DC logo.
Interesting.
I think they could have done a cool one, Superman, but
they could have done a cool one.
But don't know. I think he wants to cement himself as like the only founding father.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is a film that everyone else loves but you don't get it?
I'm not the biggest fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I agree with that.
That's a fair take.
I thought it was okay like the first time I watched it, but then like I just didn't get the hype around it, and I just thought it's just not for me. I can understand the performances are good, like I'm fine with how like the awards perceive them, and I think they are really great performances, but the film just didn't do it for me. I just thought it was a little bit all over the place. It wasn't for me, so I just didn't enjoy that film as much as everyone else did.
No, I agree with you. I've watched it once and never touched it again.
Yeah, exactly the same for me.
Which is sad. Maybe I need a rewatch because it was loved for a reason, I guess. Okay. If you could visit any film location, where would you go?
Any film location? Oh, shouting out Cinemap again. A film location I would love to go to. Oh, you're putting me in a spot now. I mean, there's a few even around me. There's a place around me called Bourne Woods, 20, 30 minutes away. And they've shot films there like Harry Potter, a lot of the Marvel scenes where, they're running through the trees in the Marvel scenes. That's like 20, 30 minutes away. And I still haven't even gone to that. And the amount of films that they shot there is insane. Like, if you look on Cinemapa there, the amount of films that are only shot around the corner, that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to drive 20 minutes down the road and go see it. But
you got no excuse at all.
No excuses, mate. No excuses.
I've been quite lucky. I've always lived near where things have been filmed. I used to live in Margate, and only down the road is where they filmed Sokovia in the beginning of Age of Ultron. That's cool. And I live in South London now, so it doesn't take me long to get to like Greenwich Uni, which is like Pirates of the Caribbean. There's scenes from like Christopher Nolan's Batman there. So much. It's very cool. It's very cool. And I live literally just down the road from the church that's in Love Actually.
Okay, yeah.
The Liam Neeson bit. Yeah. Not
Yeah,
that
I
that's
wish I
very
had
cool,
one of
but it's a
these.
place.
I wish I had one of these cool locations that I could relate to, but the closest thing I have is that about 3 scenes of Secret Invasion were shot in my uni.
That's still kind of cool. My
It's cool,
girlfriend,
but I just wish that was so much better.
my girlfriend went to the school that The Inbetweeners was filmed in while it was being filmed. So she was at like the prime age for when it came out that like it was actually happening. So all of her like local, like shopping centre and all the things they go to in the series is her life.
That's quite a flex.
It's quite,
Yeah, that's
it is
cool.
quite good.
Yeah.
It is good. It is good. Cool. Okay. Well, hopefully that learns a little bit about Craig. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit now we've kind of touched on some weird bits?
I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm crazy. So I've been doing TikTok now for just over a year. Sort of same as everyone else, sort of self-proclaimed film bro, cinephile, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, my favourite film of all time is The Godfather. One that I've absolutely adored growing up, and still to this day, I watch it every single year.
I've never seen
that's me. That's me. I'm a self-proclaimed film bro cinephile.
Well, you're more than welcome to them because I feel like we're all in the same category of nerds in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a lot has come out this week in news, even from literally the last time we recorded for episode 2. A lot that I think we like, if that makes sense. Like there are film news, then there are things I don't care about, but all of the ones that we can discuss are like, I think, big to us because I think we're all a fan. The first one and the biggest one for me is the Batman 2 script. Matt Reeves has shown a picture of the Batman 2 script. It's not really a picture, it's just like the logo and everything else is blurred, but it proves that we are getting somewhere.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
I don't know
There's
what to
some
expect.
movement.
I don't know what to expect, but I know there was a lot of back and forth with how I know Matt Reeves was going through a lot personally, and I know that there was a lot of speculation on is this going to happen, is it not? But I think just as all of us as fans of the Batman, I think this is huge. I'm hoping. I think they said that they're going to start filming after Dune. So I think Robert Pattinson's going to film Dune and then literally do this back to back. So hopefully we get some sort of release date soon with some sort of. We'll see. But the main thing is, yeah, I personally am very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes double for me.
I'm concerned by it because of how long it's been. Because like Robert Pattinson is meant to be like his Bruce Wayne is in year 2 of the Batman. So like he's still figuring it out.
Yeah.
And we haven't got to prime Batman yet. But the problem with this going on for so long is like Robert Pattinson's not getting any younger. Like I don't know, I can't remember exactly how old he is. I'm pretty sure he's like 40. But like
I think
I'm not saying that's old, but do you know what I mean? Like how long before it becomes hard to make him look 25? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And is it a trilogy? Are they doing just 2? I have no idea.
He wants to do a trilogy, I think. I think that's what I read about before. He wants to do whether or not that's going to stay that way. But
he's 39. He's 39.
Yeah.
But that concerns me.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah, because I was hoping there was going to kind of like originally when years and years ago when we were talking about the Batman first of all, I thought we were going to get like the beginning of Batman like we have, and then maybe like prime Batman, and I'm hoping he switches between like goth boy Bruce Wayne and then maybe into a little bit like billionaire, like Playboy-esque, like we get a bit of everything, and then I was kind of hoping that it would end with Batman dipping out, but like maybe the introduction of like a Robin or something, and it kind of ends there. I would be fine with that, but the age thing is really becoming a problem because prime Batman at 42 or something he'll end up being.
Yeah. Is this meant to be like?
Yeah.
I don't know how much is going to be changed since of all the like delays, but is this meant to be like a direct follow-on from the first?
I have no idea. Obviously, the Penguin was like during.
Yeah.
And I have to recognise that in the second film, right? Loads happened in the Penguin.
Yeah.
Like a lot. So But then they're saying that they've got Clayface next,
Clayface,
which
yeah.
that is to me is the weirdest choice they could have gone with, because I thought the whole point was it was like grounded, down to earth, realistic villains, not like CGI characters, if that kind of makes sense. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is the Clayface film the Batman
It's a
universe, or is it
series.
DCU? It's a series.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a series. I
Oh,
think it
my
is
God.
related. I'll have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it's related. Unless I'm
Yeah.
wrong. I don't know if it's the same as
I can't remember what they
Creature
said.
Commandos, but I don't know. The whole thing scares me. It excites me because I loved the first one so much, but
Yeah.
don't ruin it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
The
I
first
can really
one's so good.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily he doesn't look old, but
Yeah.
You would look at him and think he's 40 years old.
yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. What else have we got? Oh, Michael Bay is returning for Transformers. I don't know about you. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
Very, very happy.
I think it's been a bit of a downward, not downwards. I mean, you could say it's a downward, but I mean, they haven't been the best recent movies, the live action one especially. And I think, I think the whole franchise just needs to be revitalized with Michael Bay's touch again. So I'm again very excited by that. I'm very looking forward to what he's going to bring to the franchise again.
Yeah. Again, my only concern is time has gone now, and I think we love it from like the nostalgia bait, if that makes sense. Like, are we going to get the Autobots and Decepticons looking like they did? We like them because of the way they looked. I don't know if it's a follow-on. I don't know if it's something brand new. But is it going to be like? Is it not going to look the same? Is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, he might have that director's touch, but if it just doesn't look how you want it to, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And I can't see us getting like Shia LaBeouf back or Megan Fox. You know what I mean? I can't see it happening.
No, it's going to be a very touchy one. So you think, how's he gonna do it? Is he gonna bring back that feeling of like the first few Transformers at the same time? Is he?
Yeah.
Bring that back.
I saw a thing yesterday. I was like, Michael Bay is returning to Transformers. There's a new Linkin Park album on the way.
I saw this.
And I was like, it's literally 2007 again. And that would be sick. That would be a really good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I'll take it.
Bring back music videos that link to the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was
I feel like
good.
Transformers is almost starting to edge towards where Star Wars movies have gone, though. I feel like there's a lot of Star Wars and Transformers news about movies, but there's not actually a lot of movies coming out. There was
I know what you mean.
Not that I actually want to see it, because I don't think it would be very good, but there was the news of the sort of G.I. Joe Transformers crossover one.
Yeah.
I think we all thought that Transformers 1 was going to get a sequel, but it seems this week we're not getting that. There was like rumours at the start of the week of another animated Transformers film. Now there's the Michael Bay Transformers film.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of news, but not a lot of movies getting made.
That is true.
No action. Yeah.
He said he is kind of involved. They've got 5 Transformers projects lined up. That doesn't mean they're his, but there is 5 in the works. How many was there in his originals? The first one, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark Side of the Moon. Can't remember the order after that. You have The Last Night,
Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction. Is that it?
Last Night and then Rise of the Beasts, but they weren't really his.
But already that's like you're pushing 5 to 6 films. So if the 5 projects, I'm not saying they're all his, but imagine if he did another load like that.
Just started off the franchise again, maybe.
Yeah, just all over again. Yeah,
it's just a whole new take of it for a whole new fan base. So
I think we'll struggle though. I don't think it will be as good. I think there was something about like Sam's character that we loved all the way through. And as soon as he left, everyone was like, "Oh."
The first couple just had that feeling, didn't they?
Yeah. And I remember like Googling like what happened to Sam, and it was like, oh, there was like a rumor that he died in like an explosion between the films, and you're like, oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Just an easy cop out.
Yep.
But who knows? Maybe we'll get our Linkin Park Michael Bay Transformers, and it needs an IMAX release with that.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll be very cool.
Sure.
I'll be very happy with that. Let's have a look. What have we got? The works of a new James Bond film, with no other than Dune's famous director Denis Villeneuve directing James Bond. Thoughts?
I'm happy.
Yeah. I don't think you can help but not be happy about that.
But why? Why though? Because when I always think of like Denis films, you think of like the cinematography alongside it. Is that what you're happy for? Like, do you think James Bond will look like them?
Yeah, I think they'll have that esque to it. But I don't think Denis Villeneuve's really ever missed with anything he's ever done. And
True.
the only thing I'm sort of concerned about is the fact that because it's Amazon, how much of a hold of Amazon going to have over it? You know, how much of a say is he going to have on, say, you know, the cast and the direction of it, and how much Amazon going to, you know, take control of what he's going to do? You know, how much is he going to be able to drive with it? So that's what I'm concerned about. But because it's a standalone film, because he's only doing one, I'm excited about the thought of it. I think it only just plays to whoever he gets as Bond. If it's someone that's not good, then it's just not going to work.
Do you think if he's... Sorry, go on, you go.
As I say, it's arguably more important that we get the right actor for Bond than it is to have the right director for Bond.
Yeah.
But if you've got the wrong person in the suit, it's not gonna...
That's true.
It's not gonna have
I wonder if he'll... Like, he's famous for kind of only really doing solo films. Like, Dune is an exception. But, like, famous for doing, like, solos. So, do you think it could be, like, weirdly, like The Batman? Like, you're already partway into a Bond story, rather than a beginning of something and an end, because all the other Bond films have led into something else. Whereas if he's not really famously doing more than one, it would just be like you get one mission in and out kind of thing. You don't need the introduction to the character. He's already like stapled.
Yeah, we know who the James Bond character is. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's how is he going to take that direction, and how is Amazon going to affect that direction? That's what
I kind of imagine it like John Wick, like the first John Wick film. Like, you start at the retirement of John Wick, but the way everyone talks about it is like he's a legend. So you're already there, if that makes sense. You don't need the Aunt May dying thing, like we always talk about with Spider-Man. Like, you don't need that bit. You're already there.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be interested to see how they do it. But I don't think there's really a bad way to do it. You know, we know the character of James Bond. I think any sort of new direction will be quite fresh, and I'll be interested to see how Denis brings that to it. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, depending on who they get as James Bond.
Yeah,
especially with these rumours circling.
Yeah, I don't like any of them. I'm not gonna lie. Tom Holland being the biggest one I don't like.
The Amazon wish list, if you will, was not good.
No.
Because I think they said on their post, they want someone in their 30s who's a British actor, and then they've put Jacob Elordi as one of the front runners. And you think, well, he's an Australian actor. Why is he firstly in the mix? He's not British. Also, I don't think Jacob Elordi would be a good Bond. Like, he just doesn't look like a Bond. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
Like, I don't know what else he's been in. I mean, I know he's been in like Saltburn and Priscilla and stuff, and he's a good actor. Don't get me wrong, but is he James Bond? No. Like, if you look at him compared to the likes of Daniel Craig and Pierce Brosnan,
they're already kind of legends in their own field, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless that's the goal, is you're kind of... I'm not saying Jacob Elordi is new, but he's a hell of a lot newer than Daniel Craig was. Does that make sense? Like, do you want someone that it almost be their staple role, like for the rest of their life?
It needs to be, doesn't it? I think it needs to be. Like, you don't really know who Daniel Craig was prior to.
Yeah.
Like, that made him, and obviously now he's doing incredible roles such as like Knives Out and Queer and stuff. But that made him, and previous Bond actors have been incredible. I mean, you look at them now. Like, I just feel like you need someone that's just got that. You don't want them too famous. You don't want the likes of Tom Holland. Like, I just
Yeah, I
think Tom
agree.
Holland is an awful who was the other one? Jake Brody, Tom Holland, and
it's Harris Dickinson.
Harris Dickinson. He would be, out of those three, he would be my personal favourite.
Yeah,
I agree, but it's like the best of the worst. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because all three of them, I don't know how to word this, they're almost still like teeny bop stars. None of them are like men. Do you know what I mean? Like, Daniel Craig, if you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't fuck with him. Pierce Brosnan has that like that charmy look of like a gentleman. Does that make sense? And that's kind of the point of Bond. Whereas these are still in their like teeny bop stage.
Yeah, exactly. And they're they're like they're the pop favorites.
Yeah, it's going to be really okay. I was having this conversation the other day. 30-year-olds now are not 30-year-olds 15 years ago. Like 30-year-olds now are like your Timothy Chalamet who looks 17. But 30-year-olds then look like Pierce Brosnan now. Do you know what I mean? So like casting a 30-year-old for Bond, they'll look like a kid.
Exactly. All right, who would you like to see as Bond?
I have no idea.
See, I've seen a lot of like, every man and a dog literally gets cast as like the next James Bond. Like you've had likes of Richard Madden, who I think would be good, but he's in his 40s now, and I don't think that would work if it's going to be a long run thing.
Yeah.
Who else have you had?
I like the idea of like John David Washington. Like after seeing him in Black Klansman, like you get the suited bit, you get the kind of police field, and you can see the serious if need. I don't know. I'd be interested in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad with that. I think one of the people that were sort of like a front runner, and whether Amazon are going to allow that or not, but Aaron Pierre would be a really good shout as James Bond. I can't remember the life of me what the film's called he was in on Netflix recently, but
I've got a few here. Rebel Ridge.
Yeah. He was really good in that. And he's not a massive name. Like I know he's been recently in like Mufasa. But he's British. I think he's in his 30s. Like I think he'd be a really good shout.
I think he'd be pretty good.
I think he'd be good, yeah. The other one I liked was Theo James, but similar to Richard Madden, he's getting a bit older now.
Like, how old is? Let's have a look. How old is Theo James
now? Good shout, but at the same time,
he's 40.
Yeah,
and he doesn't look 40. But
no, it's how he ages over the next few years of his career.
Yeah, that does seem to happen a lot at the moment. I've noticed that. Like, you see like a picture between two, and you're like, "What happened?" You've only gone 2 years.
It's one of those things where Amazon will take charge of it, and then they will cast someone like Tom Holland. Tom Holland will probably be the next James Bond, and I just don't think that'll work.
But it will end up like Uncharted. That's what it'll be like. Yeah, no.
Maybe Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, just put him in everything. Why not? Imagine that. Imagine if we could have him in everything, like Harry Potter as well, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, like all the big names.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think he'd be good in all of them. I hate to say it. Like, I can see him in Harry Potter. I could see him in.
He'll be the Bond villain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's done Kingsman.
I mean, he's done Kingsman. He's been good in that.
Been there before.
He'd actually be a really good Bond villain. Without joking about it, he'd actually be really good.
That's a good shout, though, actually, thinking about Kingsman, is Aaron Edgerton would be quite a good Bond.
Yeah.
I think he would be quite good. Because he must be, in his 30s now?
Yeah. Again, I'll look it up. He can't be that old.
But
I never see his name come up in these conversations, but...
No, because everyone wants him to be Wolverine. That's why. No. He's 35.
I think he'd be...
That's possible.
He'd be suited for it. We've seen him in the likes of Kingsman in a suit and the way he works with that sort of action to it, and I think he'd be a good shout.
I'd be okay with that.
I feel like if we could put every name under the sun. I just feel like Amazon are going to sabotage it with someone like the likes of Tom Holland or Jacob Elordi, and I just think even if you've got Denis Villeneuve's direction, if you've got Tom Holland as James Bond, I just think it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree.
I hope I stand corrected, but I just think,
yeah.
That doesn't excite me.
You got to trust the Denis feel to a film. That's what it is. Is there anything else you want to talk about news-wise? Or is that pretty much it?
Yeah, pretty much everything from this week.
Yeah, I think that's all the main things that's happened this week.
Yeah, there's not that much, but I liked all of them. I think they're all quite big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of fun news this week.
Yeah.
Mm.
News upsets me, though, because it's not now, and that's what pisses me off. Like,
Yeah.
that's years away, and these are things I want now. But
There's actually one more thing I do want to touch on. It's very, very quick, because we've only just been released. A very small thing is the poster for the Odyssey was released.
Yes.
Yes.
Not that we got much from it.
I think it was yesterday morning, wasn't it? Or something?
Yeah.
But the little tagline of "Defy the Gods" looked good, and we should be getting a trailer in the next few weeks, I think. But that's exciting. That's something that I'm very much looking forward to. A Christopher Nolan film. Perhaps is insane. Tom Holland, but
but there's a million more people other than Tom Holland that balance it out.
Yeah, the cast is incredible. So that is something I'm very much looking forward to. One of the most anticipated films of next year. So the poster has got me very excited.
You're 100% right about a trailer coming soon, though, because as soon as it was like announced that Christopher Nolan is doing it, like a week later, there was a picture of like the Trojan horse on set, and when you're just like, that was rapid. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if that was the difference between it took like the media to learn about him doing that film for too long, or they literally just had enough money to do that.
And then you got the picture of Matt Damon released.
Yeah,
already. So,
yeah, it's coming soon, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, excited about that one.
Okay, right. What are we up to? What is films of the week? We have F1. Should we give it a rating out of 10?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to say 8.
10.
Oh. Okay. No, I respect it. Why?
Yeah.
We'll start with a 10. Why do you think 10?
For me, a thing that is one of my hot takes, but I also can appreciate them, is I'm not the biggest fan of really long run times. That was 2 hours 40, roughly, I think. It felt like an hour. I was gripped to every single moment. I was captivated by what I was watching the entire way through. It flew by. I thought the pacing was excellent. I think the performances were incredible, specifically that dynamic between Pitt and Damson Idris. I thought they both did fantastic in their roles. Honestly, when I heard that Brad Pitt was doing this role, I didn't know if he was right for it, but he proved himself that he was right for it. I think Joseph Kosinski's direction throughout was very clear. He knew exactly what he wanted to make going into this, and he's given us a very, very, very solid summer blockbuster with F1 that, for me, has no negatives and is currently my film of the year.
Fair. Strong. Yeah. Okay.
But you're not like on your own with that. A lot of people have rated it very, very highly, 5-star film on Letterboxd and all that. And I respect that. I think I gave it 4.5. I think you did the same thing you done.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. But the only reason I didn't give it a 10 is 2 reasons. One, I don't agree with you when you were saying the pacing felt right. I felt the last third slowed down. Not in a bad way. I was still very much into it, but that first 2/3, it had me. And the last third, I was a bit like, I don't really even know what's going on anymore. But I was fine with it. And then the other point that knocks off for me is I don't know if I can appreciate it as a film lover, but I don't know if I was the target audience. I don't know enough about F1 to go, that was accurate, that was right. Because if do you know what I mean? If you were in that field and then it ticked it off as well, you'd be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I just appreciated it as a film person. And a film that long, you don't watch every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it was incredible, and I might watch it in 8 months' time. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that isn't a 10 for me because I can't just chuck it on while I eat dinner. Because by the time I finish dinner, it's just started. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, the runtime, that part, it 100% it did feel like it flew through. But for me, a 5-star is something that, like, I could rewatch every single day. And, like, I can put that on again and, like, be happy with it. But it's not one that I'm like, I need to watch that again and again and again because I can appreciate how good it was. Like you said, Brad Pitt and Damson were great. Of course, Brad Pitt was good, but Damson Idris, it was his film.
Agreed. Yeah.
And yeah, he was incredible. Of course, I would have done more with Kerry Condon. I think Kerry Condon is incredible actress. I think like Banshees and stuff. I think she's great. But yeah, at times it just there was one thing in there that bothered me. And I don't know. I haven't seen anyone else talk about it, and I haven't been mentioning it in my review because I did it spoiler free. But the bit where it's all flashback to Brad Pitt in his like when he was like 20 or 30 or something, when he had that crash. And you see him, and he's just got that like long blonde hair, like he had in like the likes of Troy. And I just think when they do those things where they show us like an actor in the film going back to their young years, that sort of stuff bothers me when it's not 100% done right. And in my opinion, I just feel like that just didn't look right when he was flashing back to those younger years.
Are you referring to like the CGI quality?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because
it just looked like they put a blonde wig on him and just made him like they did. I know they did, but I feel like it just didn't look like it was 30 years ago, and that just slightly bothered me.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like Brad Pitt is actually probably one of the few actors that you probably do actually have footage of him in that age.
Yeah.
Like he's been around long enough that that actually exists. But I know certain films that are like very CGI focused, you would expect good things from it. I don't think there was much CGI for this film. So then you're wondering, like, the people that did it probably aren't the best at it. That makes sense. But yeah, I'm never a fan of like a flashback thing just to like make a story. I could have just never had to see that. It could have been. I hate to say that I'm doing this, but like Disney Cars, right? I related it so much to Cars, and like the Hudson Hornet, you find out through a newspaper clipping. But you don't need to watch it. You do end up watching it, but you don't need to see it actually happen. You just watch it in a newspaper clipping.
Yeah, I mean,
I could have had that.
Yeah, they didn't even need to show his face. They could have showed like the clips of him crashing and stuff. Like I know how sort of crucial that was for the story with how Damson Idris' character perceives him, and I get that. But for like to show constant bits of his face where it just didn't look right was a slight irritant to me.
I think we all have a very different opinion to everyone else. I know a lot of people liked it, but we all saw it together at the early media screening in IMAX. And I think that was our selling point, is that we saw it in IMAX, because I've spoken to people in person since, and I would say the audience is like 50-50 of if they actually enjoyed it or not. And I was like, what? Like, it was great. But they watched it on like a normal cinema screen, and they just were like, yeah, it was all right. And that's all I got out of it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Your ratings are always going to change on your viewing experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, our experience was great. I mean, seeing IMAX, I mean, it's one of those films that you have to see in IMAX. I mean, Joseph film has to be experienced in IMAX, like Top Gun Maverick and stuff. But yeah, I've seen a lot of very mixed reviews coming out of recently, like 3 stars, 2 stars, and I don't even need to have an F1.
Yeah,
you don't need to enjoy F1 to watch it, but I think a lot of people that enjoy F1 don't seem to enjoy it.
Yeah. Did you see the reviews from the actual like drivers?
Max Verstappen wasn't a big fan, was he?
All of them have been just like, yeah, it's all right. It's fun, wasn't it? And that's like it. Like that's all they kind of gave.
You're getting paid a 6-figure salary on a monthly basis. I mean, to have a split second in a film with Brad Pitt and think, yeah, all right, I don't care about this, because they don't care about being in a film.
No. They got more money than they need. It's fine. They're safe. But no, I think that film was made for film fans rather than F1 fans.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you, Charlie. It's currently like position 1 for me.
Oh, interesting. It's position 2.
Like this year so far.
Interesting.
Sinners in second.
Sinners is not getting beaten for me this year, I don't think.
Really? Okay. I don't know what is left to come in the year that I would overtake it with, because like I'm excited for things, but I know that they're not going to be like the greatest thing I've ever seen. So everything's just a bit like, so far it's winning, basically.
And we've got a big month ahead of us. I know you've seen it already. We'll talk about it next week with Jurassic World. Superman. I saw Soup's review the other day.
Yeah.
I say review. It was more like a out of cinema reaction sort of thing. And that's got me quite excited. Fantastic Four, very excited about. And there's a few other little small films, sort of horror films I'm quite excited for. But I think we've got a good rest of the year ahead of us with movies and a lot to talk about for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think what we need to talk about as well with the F1 movie is the soundtrack and score.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that at all. At all.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Hans Zimmer is kind of, you expect that, right? You knew it was going to be good. You walk in, I would be disappointed if it wasn't. But the actual album, that was sick. I wasn't expecting that in any way.
The album was you think they're just pop, Ed Sheeran, Tate McRae, Ray and stuff, but what they brought to each of it was just so good. That was the best part of the film.
Have you seen Ed Sheeran's review of this on Letterboxd?
No.
He talks about the film and then he ends it off with, not a bad credit song either.
Oh, class. I follow him on Letterboxd. I don't even know I didn't see that. Weird. But no, it kind of actually goes back to the point, we were talking about Linkin Park and music videos for Transformers. This is that.
Yeah.
Make a music video for that.
Yeah. There was a scene in it where it was they were racing and the bass beat was coming in and I was not expecting it in any way, but yeah, it was great. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
I think that was make a Burna Boy video. Have them in there racing. Just bring that back. I've seen a few TikToks now where they talk about that. Just bring music videos with films back.
Yeah, bring back Vivo. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
I mean, as soon as I finish this, I'm off to try and find the F1 vinyl because I think it's already out.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I need that.
That'd be cool. Yeah. No, it slapped. I was a big fan. I've listened to it on repeat since.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah. But you sound like a weirdo selling that to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? I've been listening to the F1 soundtrack and that wouldn't mean anything to anyone else. Which is weird. Cool. Is there anything else you want to mention about F1?
No, I don't think so. I think we've all covered everything. I don't know if we'll get a sequel. Maybe we will get a sequel with maybe Dams and Idris a bit more, with no Brad Pitt maybe. But I wouldn't be mad seeing a sequel. We'll see.
I'd be happy to leave it as it is. It was just a standalone. Love that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on then? So this week we have our first 3 episodes from Marvel's new series IronHeart. I believe we've all watched them now. Should we do another rating out of 10 for the first 3? Okay. I'll count us down, right? 3, 2, 1, 6.
7.
5.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Who's 7?
Me.
Okay, why? You're the highest of all of us.
Okay. I went into this very much expecting another dished out Marvel series that wasn't that good. We've had a lot of Marvel TV series that I feel like haven't been that great. There's only been a couple that I've really enjoyed. What I've enjoyed so far with Ironheart is I really like sort of the aspect to it. I like how Ironheart's character and Riri Williams is. I just think the way that she is in that show is really enjoyable. I like the dynamic of her with her AI friend Natalie. I really like that. It sort of takes back a little bit to early Iron Man. There's a lot of things in there we can talk about in a minute that I feel like add to the story in quite a good way, not just they've thrown that in there for the sake of it. But I like the dynamic of the group so far. I think that sort of works. I saw someone talk about it as a very Ocean's 11 sort of style, and I quite like that. And it has got me quite excited for the rest of it, knowing what is to come. So I'm having a good time with it. I'm having a good time with it so far. Whether that rating may change, first 3 though, I'm happy.
Okay. Positive. There's absolutely no negatives in that. For a 7. Oh, okay. Charlie?
We talk about negatives.
Okay. Okay. All right. Charlie, do you want to...
In terms of that, I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Charlie, do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, that's quite interesting because the first thing you said was you went into it expecting a sort of dished out Marvel show.
Yeah.
I went into it wanting to give it a chance. So I think I maybe put my expectations a little bit too high. I don't think anyone's unaware of the fact that a lot of people were counting this show out before it even started. I think even Marvel themselves did. They started the marketing campaign just over a month ago. And it kind of seemed like they were just relying on Coogler's name and Black Panther and Sinners to pop into all these trailers to promote it, which was a shame because I do actually think it's quite good, and I did enjoy it. But I think maybe where I've set myself up with somewhat expectations, it kind of didn't quite meet that. I think the first episode was good, but I think second and third were actually really strong. And I think I completely agree that Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams is great all the way through. And just one thing personally for me, really small thing, but when I watch a TV show and there's like really cool title cards, I really like that. And every episode has like a creative title card, but specifically episode 1, when it's like the crack in the road, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's not the same, but like Invincible has that like its own certain thing. I like when I know what you
It's
mean.
so minor, but it's just like it really ties everything together.
You don't need an intro
Whereas
as well.
like things like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it would just like cut to black and just put the title up. But like this creatively merged into the episode, and I can just appreciate the little things like that.
Yeah, that was cool. I think, what did I say? I gave it a 6. I think, again, I was like yourself. I was very open to it. Track record of, oh no, what's going to happen? Is it going to be as good or the same as every other Disney series? I was open to it. The concept of the character was cool before we even started. I think the thing I'm struggling with most is it feels so seriesy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like Disney have really put that like family friendly gloss over everything, and it makes things hard to watch. Like when you go back to like the first Iron Man, like with that early, like brutal things were happening. Like it was dark, like on purpose, and that made it an enjoyable film. Whereas we're like so deep into the Marvel and Disney lore now that it's so like family friendly glossed over, and it makes all the jokes a little bit cringy, and everything doesn't get to the point long. It's all like really overdone. That's what annoys me. But the story I'm invested in. I think episode 1 and 2 I thought were a bit like ugh. It was the third one that I liked the most. I think, as Craig kind of said, them having different avenues and everyone you're kind of interested in. Like we haven't learned enough about each character yet, and that's a good thing because I want to know more. Anthony Ramos's character, I'm fascinated by him. I don't think he's a good character. He's just a bloke in a jacket, basically. Like that's it. But I'm fascinated by where that goes. I think the last episode was good because you saw a bit more of the humanized, darker feel, exactly like I said we were missed. There's clearly something about having an Iron Man in your life that you have PTSD. That just clearly comes with it. Because that's something that she's affected by in this. I really liked. I'm assuming we can talk spoilers by this point.
Yeah,
I think we're fine. Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, we've done it now. Obadiah Stane's son.
Yeah,
That's cool. Wasn't expecting that in anything, but
I mean,
again, a really nice.
He was called Joe, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
There's no way he was not going to have some sort of tie, but yeah.
But that was a really good callback. Because all you know him as is like this kind of like shy, little weird, nerdy tech kid, and then you realise he comes from that, and it's that whole kind of Iron Man ties.
It's a full circle, isn't it? It's a very big full circle. Like she's sort of discovering who she is, with the whole engineering of the Iron Man suits, and also bringing him into himself again. Yeah, I know he says he was like, I don't want to be or follow my father's footsteps and all that sort of stuff, but I just don't see that not going the same sort of direction now that he's like trying to take more control of his life. And
yeah, I think the switchover is in that last episode. She has like the fake skin thing, and he says like, "Promise me that you're not gonna lose it and have it tied back to me," and that's exactly what she does. So I think he'll lose his shit, and that will he will all of a sudden have his. I'm not saying he's going to become the villain of the series, but like he's definitely going to become a problem.
I think it'll be a problem. Yeah, 100%. I know from like the cast list. I mean, you've got his name on there. You've got Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, whatever you want to call it, but he's on there, and I know there's been so many things where he's like, oh yeah, Mephisto's going to show up. He's going to show up, but the fact that he is going to show up in this series is exciting, and the fact that we do get to see more of like the wizardry and especially of like the way that like Anthony Ramos's character is like some of the things we've seen in there with the most recent episode of him suffocating that guy and the direction of the bullets in the second episode. We're sort of getting little snippets and teasers of what is the strength of his power, which I think is quite exciting. Like, obviously, he's got the issue with his skin and his back and everything, which I think we're going to need more from that. But the way that that's going to tie into Mephisto does get me excited, and the fact that, like I was saying, with the series is the most recent ones I've watched, even like Echo, even Daredevil, like I've sort of like, okay, I'll watch it, but I'm not enjoying it as much. Whereas this, I'm like, I'm quite excited to see where this is going to go. Like for the first time in a long time doing Marvel series.
I think it's really different. It's like, I'm not, obviously that sounds contradictory from what I said at the beginning. I think it feels the same as every other series, but what's actually happening is different. And I think what this series will end with will have an impact on things going forwards. Obviously, you know, the last time we saw her was like Wakanda, and that's a huge, crucial part of the MCU is Wakanda and all the power and tech from that. And although she's kind of like briefly like nabbed at it in this series, there is no Wakanda. So she's currently alone. I think that's the point of the series. She's kind of alone. She is a nobody at the moment, and she needs to become a somebody. And obviously, there's that whole talks about her Iron Man suit becoming magic as well. And as soon as you put them two together, that's OP as hell. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, we've still got Doomsday and all that coming. I'm not saying that's all going to happen, but like to have someone as powerful as that just before will be. I'm interested to see where that goes.
I'm interested to see if we're going to eventually get the Young Avengers, because we've got the likes of, you know, so many different characters that we can pull in, and I think I wouldn't be mad if like the likes of Riri was maybe the leader of this Young Avenger. I think that should be quite good. What I find interesting is the fact that this in the sort of MCU timeline is 2025, so only a few months after Wakanda Forever, but at the same time Thunderbolts is the end of 2027. So how that's sort of gonna pan out for her between obviously Doomsday being 2028 is going to be interesting to see how she would have developed in that time. I don't know if we'll see that time in the next sort of 3 years, but I'm excited to see how she's going to play a role in that and Doomsday for sure.
Yeah, and we were talking about how the lack of marketing. Well, they brought Robert Downey Jr. to do a little bit of that, right?
Yeah,
paying the big bucks.
Yeah, exactly. Although cool, and it will push the series a little bit more. If it isn't just a marketing stunt and he genuinely believes that he's hopeful and happy for the character, that's a good thing. Because, you know, like everything he did in his time, if that makes sense, was brilliant. That was like the golden era. So if what he's saying is correct, that this still remains as good, then the high hopes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's not because he got paid.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you know, if he's got the big bucks, he's just go and watch it. But you think how much of the time he's played as Iron Man, and he's got, you know, this young girl that's playing character inspired by Iron Man. You hope that he had some enjoyment get out of it. You've probably seen it all, so I'm hoping, that he has endorsed it for the right reason, not just for the paycheck.
What are your thoughts on the 3-episode a week thing?
We've had that with a few things now, haven't we?
Yeah, it's become the new thing.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I do like it.
Because getting the one episode, if it was, you know, because was it 40 minutes, take away the credits and all that, you've got half an hour episode, release one half an hour episode once a week for what? Was it 9 episodes this one's going to be, or 10 episodes? 10 weeks of it was just no one's got that. It's not gonna have you enough to be like, okay, I'll watch the next half an hour next week.
Yeah.
You've got 3 each week, especially with a series like this where it's good. But I don't think a lot of people are gonna have the same grab as it. I feel like you need to have that. Oh, 3 episodes are there. Let's get them watched.
Yeah.
I always thought it was in regards to what comes next. So, like, Fantastic Four is the next thing, and I've always thought that they released them more because it would end by the time the next thing comes out, rather than it overlapping.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Last thing I want is half of their audience going to the wrong one when something new comes out. Andor did it as well, didn't they? The 3-episode thing. And Andor was long, so that was like, I've got 3 hours to watch this week. And you're right, I'm not opposed to it, but it is a little daunting sometimes, and you're just, especially with like us that like reviewing very detailed step by step, it's really hard because you're almost now behind.
Yeah, that's the negative. Because for me as well, if they've just dropped episode 1, I don't know how fast I'd be rushing back to episode 2 for this one. Episode 1
very good point.
Didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
But also in the same regard, like you were saying, when things overlap, I remember in 2023, the season finale of Loki season 2 came out the same day as the Marvels. And obviously, the Marvels didn't have the greatest pull, but Loki season 2 is one of the best things they've done since, in like the Monster saga. So I would imagine a lot of people would stay at home to watch that episode than trek out to the cinema to see the Marvels. So
that's what I always thought it was.
Ways to see both sides.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the new thing. Like, I feel like I'm different to you two there. Like, I'm not saying I don't want only just half an hour a week, so I appreciate that's a little bit long-winded, but I don't know if like nearly 3 hours a week is too much. I don't know. Because you got to remember now, we only are okay with that because we're up to date. We're film people. If you're someone just kind of joining the franchise, mate, you're never catching up. Like, good luck. That you've got like 30 films roughly to catch up with, 1 million series, and every week they're 3 hours behind. If they watch one film, they're a whole another film's worth of time behind each week.
I'm still behind on Andor.
Well, there you go. Point proven. That's finished.
I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel that is maybe where the MCU is struggling with, because their audience is people that are already an audience. They're not grasping new people anymore. It's who's left.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we struggle with.
I think that showed massively with Thunderbolts as well. With the not that I'm a film's good because of box office numbers, but it does show where the audience is and where they're not, and they weren't in the seats for Thunderbolts.
Well, Avengers Doomsday will do well, right? People that haven't even watched everything will go and watch it, but they're going to sit there and go, "Who's that? Why is that happening?" Because they haven't got a clue. Because certain things are happening in the series and the films that they maybe haven't seen that are crucial.
Yeah.
It'll make money, great, but everything around that won't, because no one understands what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's going to be a real struggle. Not to say I'm not excited for it, though.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm already more excited for that than I am in Ironheart right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got Fantastic Four next. I'm very excited for that.
That new trailer this week.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of worries about Fantastic Four. Each trailer has sold me more and more, but this one was like, oh, this is out of the 3 July movies, I never really knew which one I was the most excited for, and I think that new trailer has solidified that Fantastic Four is the one that I'm most excited for.
They did, I saw something yesterday, they were doing the statistic poll of what they think is going to win through the next month or two. And in order of what they believe box office will be is now Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, and then Superman last.
That's the thing, when you got a prime DC film like Superman releasing, and then a prime Marvel film going against each other, it's gonna be tough. But I'm very much looking forward to Fantastic Four more than I am Superman.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That trailer was incredible. I actually got goosebumps listening to, the Silver Surfer coming down, heralding Galactus. That was just, mate, that scene in the trailer, when you're seeing it in the film, that's just going to be insane. Seeing Galactus come down.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the early reviews saying that Galactus's scenes are incredible.
Okay.
So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think I'm more excited to watch Fantastic Four than I am Superman, but I feel that I'm going to come out of it enjoying Superman more than I did Fantastic Four.
It's going to be interesting, for sure.
Mhm.
I feel like if either of the films don't do well, it's just going to be a big old hit for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
we haven't even talked about, we won't talk about it this episode, but Jurassic World is another part of that. I love how we're not even questioning that. We're like, yeah, that'll win. Like, that's a...
Yeah.
Next week?
Yeah. We can discuss that next week. But, don't know. Like, I think Jurassic World's got a history behind it to make money. Fantastic Four's got a history behind it that everyone's question marking at the moment to make money. Superman's not got history. It's the future with the question mark on it to make money. They're all kind of pivotal moments for each of their franchises.
Yeah.
Like, is this the end of Jurassic World, or is this like a good new start? Fantastic Four, like, if you don't do this one, I think you're going to lose a lot of people. And then Superman, if it starts off bad, there's no savior anymore.
Especially when it's a Superman film.
Yeah.
What a month.
Big
What a
month.
month.
Which one do you think out of the two superhero ones would you say is more important to get right? They're arguably both crucial. But which one do you think has more? Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Because this is like the first big DCU project.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a Superman movie. You're reinventing the superhero, like the Superman genre, like the superhero film for your new franchise. You've given us a new Clark Kent Superman. You've given us all these new characters, new actors portraying these characters that we love. And you think, if that is not fundamentally right, and people that come out of that not enjoying the film and thinking of it more of a disappointment, then that's going to be pivotal to how they see the rest of your films. So that has to be a good film.
Yeah. Fantastic Four might, let's say it's not good, you're still interested in Doomsday. Like, you're still going to go and see it, and you'll go, it wasn't great, but I did love The Winter Soldier. Like, you at least have that like on the back of your shoulder to talk about. Whereas if Superman isn't good, everyone's going to go, I've got nothing. Like, I've got there's nothing to ride
Here
on.
we go again.
Yeah. So the Batman Part 2. That's what we're going to aim for.
I think, Ben, we touched on this last week, but like, Marvel now has their next four films that we know about. If they get them all right, they should have a solidified audience again. But you got Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and then 2 Avengers movies. If you can do them all right and have your audience not speak as negatively about them as they have done in the past few years, then you can start to rebuild a fan base again. But obviously, I think if you say Fantastic Four fails and then Spider-Man and 2 Avengers films are good, I still think it works in that way. Whereas with Superman, if that fails, where did we go from here? Because they've got to sell a Supergirl film after this in less than 12 months.
Yeah.
So if Superman isn't good, you've then got to try and market Supergirl differently to get people there.
And the marketing for Superman has been crazy. Like, again, we touched on this last week, but like, every creator's going everywhere to go and meet them, to go and see them, to post TikToks everywhere. They added like a statue in the Philippines of like a full-size Superman statue thing. Fantastic Four hasn't done any of that yet. As far as I'm aware, there's been nothing. And like the premiere is in like about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And other than and it's crazy how we're more excited for Fantastic Four and all they've given us is a trailer. Compared to Superman, that's like physically giving you marketing, and people are still question marking it.
Yeah, like they're doing their press tour. They're going across the world. They're promoting it. You've seen nothing of Fantastic Four.
No,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's pure aura farming. They don't need to do anything. They know what they've got. Exactly. I kind of respect that.
Trailer.
Yeah,
that's it. So
there's even just like different audiences though. You've got Marvel Studios, you've got Pedro Pascal, but then you've got is this up in arms DC that the general audience probably don't know this is the kickoff to something new just yet. It's probably still a bit all up in arms. And you've also got David Corenswet, who, while people do know who he is, he's not your like huge A-lister drawing name that someone like Pedro Pascal is, who's honestly everywhere.
And that's the thing,
It's
isn't
a
it? This
joke, but he
people
is
know.
everywhere.
I can't wait for him to be Batman. He's gonna he's gonna be Bond villain. He's gonna be in the new DCU. We're gonna get it all. I want him in everything. That's what they should do. They should just fund
He's
him
gonna
all
get-
the money.
I won't be surprised if this HBO Harry Potter series ends and he hasn't been in one season.
Who though? Who?
Who would he be?
I have no idea, but
Grown up Harry Potter. You know, like at the end of the Harry Potter films when he like they lets the kids off. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying. Or like surprise me. Like make him like
Like
Voldemort.
I wouldn't even be shocked if that happened. That's
I don't know. He could be one of the Weasley brothers, and the other one just looks completely different. Just leave him as Pedro Pascal. That'd be perfect. Cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Yeah, and Tom Holland. We can have a poo of them. Tom Holland and Pedro Pascal as the Weasley brothers. Perfect. Is that everything? Have we talked about everything this week?
I think
we
so.
have.
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. That's pretty much everything then. What have we got to talk about next week? Next week is primarily going to be, so it's episode 4. We have Jurassic World next week. Is there anything else we're going to talk about? Oh, obviously the next 3 episodes of IronHeart.
Is anyone watching Megan? Or
No.
I don't think I will be.
I mean, yeah.
Well, if you watch it, feel free to chime in with your bit.
I'm still yet to see just Megan. I haven't seen the first one.
It's alright. It's alright. But yeah, we'll talk about Jurassic World. The next episode, IronHeart. Hopefully, some more news comes out.
Crazy last 2 weeks. So yeah, I think we'll be good. Okay, if that's everything, we can wrap it up then for this week, and then we can see you all next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Perfect. Thank you very much.